There's a lot of popular Marvel Legends out there, and some of them are praised for very good reasons, while others are praised for reasons that don't seem very good at all. Today we're going to talk about those toys that don't deserve the praise they get. This is the top 5 most overrated Marvel Legends. Be sure you stick around for our honorable mention, because I think it's going to surprise you guys. If you support what I do, please click subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single video of mine when it comes out. The 5th most overrated Marvel Legend is Shriek from the Armadillo wave. I don't know what people see in this action figure, because the moment I saw it, I thought she looked incredibly generic. But people seem to like this one because it has a decent amount of articulation for a lady action figure, especially when compared to the old standard lady action figure body. The main difference being that this body now has double jointed elbows instead of an elbow swivel. To be fair, the proportions on this body do look a little better than they did on the old female body, but now, because it's so generic, we're seeing it on a bunch of lady action figures lately. Aside from that, Shriek just isn't a very good action figure, because the most appealing thing about this one is the head. It does look like she did from the comics, but the body has a bunch of painted on details that should be sculpted on, because those are separate fabric pieces on the character if you look closely at panels from the comic. Her sleeves, those are torn pieces of fabric. Those little strips of white on the center of her torso and her shoulders, that is skin. That is not part of her costume. Those should be elevated as a relief element. But instead here they're just painted on, and it makes Shriek here look like a very slapdash action figure. The 4th most overrated Marvel Legend is the 90s animated Wolverine. A lot of people seem to love this one, and I can't figure out why. One, it has really terrible cell shading that shouldn't be there at all, and it really downgrades what would otherwise be an okay Wolverine figure. 2, this is just the same Wolverine we saw from the Apocalypse wave. It's the same Wolverine we saw from the Love Triangle box set. It's the same Wolverine body we've seen time and time again. So what's so special about it here? Is it because it has a new paint job and it's vaguely reminiscent of X-Men the Animated Series? Nostalgia is definitely doing a lot of the heavy lifting on this one, because if it wasn't, people would definitely care a lot more about the lousy cell shading, as well as the extra pair of hands that don't even have the little bulbs where Wolverine's claws come out of. Those are present on Wolverine's hands pretty much at all times, so they should be here, and it's another case where they just forgot to put them on. Or in the more likely case, Hasbro just took another pair of hands from some other figure, painted them blue, and put them in this box with Wolverine. Something else that strikes me about this one is that we're not seeing a torso cut like we see on a lot of newer Marvel Legends, and instead we just get the waist swivel and ab crunch. It's not a bad Wolverine action figure, but it's definitely outdated, and it really needed an upgrade, but instead it's just a cash grab. The 3rd most overrated Marvel Legend is Venom from the Spider-Man Retro line. This one is one of my least favorite Marvel Legends, and one of the worst Marvel Legends of 2021. This Venom is just on an Omega Red body, and I absolutely hate that, because Omega Red's upper body here on Venom is just way too skinny. He's not big enough on the upper body to be Venom. Venom is very top heavy. And besides that, the colors are completely wrong on him. If you've ever seen Spider-Man the Animated Series, you see either a combination of light blue and a light salmon color, or else you see a mid-tone cyan color and a mid-tone red-orange. There is no red on Venom at all, and the blue is too light compared to the value of the red on this action figure. Besides that, you also get essentially the same head sculpt, one without a tongue and one with a tongue, and he doesn't have web shooters, they just didn't paint them on, and he also has giant peg holes on his traps, the top of his shoulders. How that was allowed to slide is mind-boggling, but this one is nowhere near deserving of the praise that it gets. Just really terrible work, and this one never should have seen the light of day. The 2nd most overrated Marvel Legend is Captain America from the 20th Anniversary line. This one was incredibly popular, presumably because of the paint job. Really though, this Captain America is nothing special, because it's essentially just the same old Captain America action figure we've already seen. If you have the 80th Anniversary Captain America, you pretty much have this one already. The 20th Anniversary Captain America, as I recall, recalls a combination of the 80th anniversary Captain America and Wolfcap from the Red Onslaught wave. Once you get past the paint job on this one, you notice that the joints are all still pinned. He doesn't have that torso swivel like a lot of modern Marvel Legends do. And then there's the shield that has holes in it. They didn't bother to include a shield that doesn't have holes. And there was this elitist attitude surrounding this one that, oh, you already have a bunch of Captain America shields. You're good, you don't need one without holes in it. Well, tell that to the people who don't already have a Captain America. I'm sure they'd love to hear it. Between colors and designs on the shield not matching with other Captain America action figures, or other Captain America action figures not being available so people could get a normal shield if they wanted one, it wasn't a very good message all around. It's fine that they had the shield they did, but they really needed a normal shield at a $32 price point. Before we get to our number one spot, Soulmates, we gotta talk about the honorable mention, and the honorable mention for today is Rhino. This one is from the Spider-Man Retro line again, and it might surprise you because this one is not necessarily a bad action figure, it's just one that has a really old sculpt. Mind you, this one has ball-jointed hips, a throwback that we haven't seen in a long time, and this sculpt dates all the way back to 2015. So it's been a while. I've seen a lot of reviews praising this Rhino up and down, hand-waving the $39 price point, but really, this body needed an upgrade. All the sculpting work is really nice on this one, especially the new head sculpts. Those do look great. And the paint job looks pretty good, but man, that waist swivel is an eyesore. They could have just kept the arms and legs as they were and made a new torso for Rhino here, and that would have been fine, but they just recycled the Build-A-Figure, and here we are. And it's pretty disappointing considering what we're getting nowadays on our sculpts. And again, at $39 no less, almost $10 more than a deluxe Marvel Legend should be. And now the number one most overrated Marvel Legend is the HasLab Sentinel. This one wound up on a lot of people's top 10 list of 2021 for no other reason than it was big and it had some detail on it. But as we all found out shortly after the HasLab Sentinel debuted, its knee joints do not work. And that is absolutely the most egregious sin on a toy you could possibly have, is something that just doesn't work. The Sentinel comes with ratchets in its knees that do not support the weight of this action figure at all. The ratchets simply don't work, and to get around this problem, people start opening up the sides of the Sentinel's knee and tightening a screw inside that joint. Well, that's not really a long-term solution because sooner or later, the screw is going to strip or else the knee is going to break from continued use. Literally, the most important thing for a toy is that it functions as designed, because if it doesn't, it's an automatic failure. And what did Hasbro do to address the knee issues? Well, nothing really. The HasLab Sentinel stands as a testament to why large companies like Hasbro should never be crowdfunding their items, because they do not need to. Items like this from popular IPs should always be on store shelves. Well, Soulmates, what do you think? What are your top 10 most overrated Marvel Legends? What are the Marvel Legends you've seen that everyone else likes, but you just can't see it yourself? I would love to hear from you down in the comments. Be sure you let me know, guys. If you'd like to see my last top 5 video where I talk about 5 of the best Marvel Legends Toy Biz ever did, you can check out my top 5 Toy Biz Marvel Legends video here.